Welcome back to another tutorial. In today's video we are going to be making some DIY tassels. Now by DIY I mean you can make this using a piece of card that you've got from around your house or a thick bit of paper without having to buy an official tassel maker. So let's get started. So as you can see I've got a few here. Now these are some mini ones that I made for the corners of a cushion that I made, and the pattern for that cushion you can find in the description box below. And these are just made by folding some yarn in half and making kind of a cinch, a tie around it. Really easy to make, so I'm going to show you now. The one I'm going to show you is going to be slightly bigger. Depending on how big you want your tassel is how big you need to find a piece of card or paper to make. So I have here the back of an Easter egg box and I'm just going to fold it in half to make a long rectangle. This will be the length of your tassel. Obviously the part at the top will be attached to your work, or the top of your tassel, so the drape is only so long. So my tassel is probably going to be, the drape is going to be this long, so depending on how long you want your tassel will depend on how long your rectangle is. So we need some yarn, either scrap yarn to practice or yarn that matches your project, a piece of card or thick paper in the shape of a rectangle, and some sharp scissors to get going. So we are going to, it's really important that when you start your tassel, your end touches the end of your card. You don't want to start with your end up here, otherwise when you wrap your tassel you're going to have a random end up here that doesn't fit in with the tassel. So just make sure you have your end at the bottom of your piece of card, and then start wrapping your yarn around, put this on the floor, around as thick as you want your tassel. So if you want a really wispy tassel, then wrap a couple of times. If you want a really thick tassel, then wrap more. So we're just going to keep wrapping until we have our tassel the thickness that we want. I am going to stop there. So just like we stopped, we had the start of our tassel at the end of our card, we want the end of our tassel at the end of our card as well, and then those ends will sit with the end of your tassel. You can maybe trim them down a bit to be the same, exactly the same length. So we're going to cut that there and just put your tassel down. Now you want to get your yarn again and cut a generous piece of yarn. If you want to measure it, you can kind of measure it maybe 2 or 3, 2.5 lengths of your tassel. And you want to first of all just put it in your tassel and pull it up. So you've kind of made a loop, and this will be the loop that holds your tassel. So this is what you will sew into your work, or wherever if you're hanging your tassel from somewhere, this is what you will tie it with. So make sure you tie that really tight at the top. Just tie it on there, make sure it's on there nice and tight so your tassel can't come undone, because in a minute we're going to cut the bottom, so we want it to stay together. So once we've attached our hanger, see what I mean about the ends coming up? So you do need to make sure they are long enough, otherwise you're going to have an end here. So once you have your hanger, grab your scissors and cut the end of your tassel. Just cut the whole thing in half. Ooh. Like so, and you can get rid of your card, and that is the start of your tassel. Now we need to grab a bit more yarn. I'm going to have this probably 2 lengths of your tassel, and however thick you would like the top of your tassel, or if you want it quite small because you want your drape to be quite long, then grab your yarn, just lay it flat down and lay your tassel on top, and then just tie around to create the bulbous bit on the top, and cinch really tight, and you can do another knot really tightly, or if you're feeling like it's still a bit too loose, remember not to keep this tie out of the way. Tie it around the other side again, just to either make that bit as bulbous as possible. You can pull up on those strands as well if you'd like it to be really, really have a lot of volume, and then you can just let those bits hang down, and then you can trim to your desired length or leave it like that. So you can trim your bigger bits off and then use your tassel as you see fit. And that is a DIY tassel without a tassel maker.